Thanks so much to all my patrons. Join now to help support the channel and help pick the books that I review. And I am done. Okay, so I just got done reading Shiang. This is book 2 of the Empire of Salt trilogy by C.F. Iggulden, and I want to give you my unedited thoughts on finishing this book, which was literally just right now. So yeah, super easy 5 out of 5 stars, and like a top 5 book that I've read this year. This thing is this is incredible. This is gonna probably go down in my top maybe 1 most underrated fantasy series of all time. Because like who's read this thing? Like raise your hand if you've read this thing. Like 4 of you maybe. It's older and nobody talks about, not that old, but it never got popular, and it's written by a guy, this C.F. Iggulden, which is a pseudonym I think for 𝐭𝐻 who's a historical writer. Never wrote fantasy after he wrote this trilogy, and like, oh man, we missed out, guys, on an amazing fantasy writer that never just kind of flew with it. Because both these books are 2 of the more I don't even want to say like entertaining, although they were entertaining. That like under sells it. Like they're just 2 of the better fantasy books that I've ever read. Just all in all, they're fantastic, and especially for like the sub 400 page fantasy books, probably the best. I'm just blown away. They're so inventive and clever, and just like the plots just like are so gripping, and it's dark, and it's one of those perfect fantasy stories. So let me tell you a very kind of brief, I don't even really know what the series is about actually thus far, because I feel like I've read 2 very different stories. But I feel like you're just kind of reading a moment in time in history of this world that's going on. Because the first book is about the city 𝐬𝐿. It's called 𝐬𝐿, and everything takes place there. And it's essentially about a few different people that get magic powers. And I won't say more than that. And it has huge implications on the city, and it's extremely fiery and exciting story. And the second book just takes place in a totally different city, in the city of Shiang. It has no connection. And then all of a sudden, a little bit in, you start hearing a name. You hear this name, and you're like, oh, I know that name. I recognize that person from the previous book. And then the plots get drawn together. And the second book, in my opinion, when I think back on it right now, in every way was better than the first book. And I couldn't stop raving about how fantastic the first book was. And I get on this channel, I think some people get frustrated sometimes. They're like, you're not actually reviewing the book. You're just kind of like telling your vibes on it. I don't really want to tell you anything about this book more than very, very basics, because it's short enough that you should just try it no matter what. But like the very like first handful of pages of the story is really all I'll give you of this one. But there's a few different characters that we're following. The main ones are this character who is I think the best way I could describe him is like all this takes place in kind of a medieval kind of setting, and he's like a bodyguard, or like one of the main guards for a really important guy in the city. And you find out that he's dying, and he expects to die later that day. He has this sickness that he's been hiding from his employer, and he plans to die. And then you follow this mad doctor who is trying to use these magical stones to bring people back to life and use like necromancy. And I can't say more than that, because the things that go from there and the major plot twists that happen very quickly on in the story are so engaging that it's really hard to put down. You're gonna struggle to put this one down. And I feel like this author has taken his historical chops, which can be, history is a very dark subject, and thrown in some of these really darker concepts into these stories, these very like nihilistic sort of stories in this, and they really, really, really work. And I'm so happy that I get to read this thing. The only book that I've read that's made me this excited recently, and it kind of has a similar vibe to it in a lot of ways, is Beyond Redemption by Michael Fletcher and Michael R. Fletcher. Is that it? Am I getting the wrong name entirely? I think I got it right. Where it's just like they hit me out of the blue. Where I read these stories where almost from the first page I went, this is incredible. And why aren't people talking about this? I don't get it. Something missed on the marketing, because these should be hits. These should be mega hits. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what it missed. And, you know, it's got to be so frustrating being an author, because there's so many books out there and it's probably so hard to market them. And you never know what's just going to grab people's attention. And, you know, there's so many books coming out that, like, how do you make it? It feels like it's just a random crapshoot. And obviously this one just missed. And it's not fair, because, yeah, you guys need to go check it out. So I'm not going to say anything else. This is like the worst review I've ever done, but I just need you to go check it out. Joe, check out the series. Go pick up Darien first. And just go pick this one up right away. And you'll probably beat me to the third one because of how slow that I end up going through my series. But I haven't been more hyped for a final book in a trilogy that I know is going to be fantastic in a really long time. I feel like a lot of trilogies that I read, the second one isn't quite as good as the first, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going to happen in this third one? This one, I'm so hyped about, and I have so much confidence in this author that it'll be the surprise of my life if it doesn't knock it out of the park. So, yeah, check it out. Yeah, if you don't like more serious, kind of darker stories, you're probably not going to love this one. It's not like the most grimmest dark of stories, although it's definitely up there. But yeah, this isn't like fun, heroic fantasy by any means. This is like, you know, that old school David Gemmell kind of nitty gritty siege battles, that kind of thing, but with some really cool magical twists that you're going to love. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this. And as always, happy reading to you. Thanks again to all my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Amy, Alex P, Anna G, Brady K, Doust, Darren, Jerry, Jonathan, Nev's Book Channel, Ron Reich, Ryan L, Sydney Baker, Anna, Blair, Eric Cannon, Joe UK, Kat Mick, Ricky Iman, and Sky. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video, and if you want to watch some more content from my channel, click over here and I've got some good videos for you. Thanks so much.